What's up everyone, PitClover here. In today's video I want to talk about a little movie that I saw last night called The Conjuring 2 that is directed by James Wan with my family at a local theater that is pretty much packed for its grand showing. And as some of you don't know, this is one of my most anticipated films of this year and what appears to be a pretty promising year for movies. It is a retelling of an actual paranormal case by investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren back in the 1970s, played by Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga, and it follows their adventure to England to aid a family that is being tormented by this dangerous entity that is after the daughter Janet. With the help of professors, neighbors, and other investigators, they all work together to confront this evil entity. For some of you that do not know, I love ghost stories, paranormal stories, actual cases, and whatnot, and I saw the first Conjuring movie and it scared the crap out of me every time I rewatch it. It had great writing, a creepy atmosphere, and the effective scares that left quite an impression afterward. So naturally I was expecting the same feel for this one since the first one was so good, and my god, this movie was fucking terrifying. I kid you not when I say this, that this is by far one of my favorite horror movies of this year, and perhaps of all time. I was not only shaken by how scary this was, but also how entertaining it was as well. The scare factors in this movie are excellent. James Wan really knows how to build up on this important element through a combination of tension and atmosphere. And yes, there are legit scares, not cheap jump scares and scenes that aren't even scary like some horror movies nowadays. And I kid you not, I was shaking throughout this entire movie because of how unsettling it was, and that is what makes an effective horror movie. The performances in this movie are great, especially by Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga's, but I think the best performance is probably the little girl because she nailed the role. I actually felt like that she was legit scared, and whenever the spirit is tormenting her, she really convinces the audience. Even some of the family members and some of the side characters are portrayed very well too. And what's great about that is that they all feel like they contribute to what is happening around them instead of just being throwaway characters. The film also explores togetherness, and that's mostly through Ed and Lorraine's marriage, and as well as their partnership as paranormal investigators and exorcists, and also the little girl's family, as they work together to battle against this evil entity. There's also a twist in this movie near the end, and which I'm not going to spoil it for you, but it made a whole lot more sense from beginning to end, and to be kind of honest, made the film even scarier that was already a pretty scary movie to begin with. Now, with that said, I really have no complaints about this movie, except while this film has a lot of practical effects, and you can definitely tell throughout the majority of this movie that there's barely any CG in this movie. The CG mostly comes from this character called the Crooked Man, who comes from this children's song, and he does make an appearance in this movie, and you can kind of tell that it's a CG model, but regardless, the performance was pretty terrifying. Guys, overall, I had a lot of fun watching The Conjuring 2. Not only was it one of the scariest movies I've ever seen, but it's also one of the most entertaining movies that I've seen this year. And while you don't have to watch the first film, I still recommend watching the first film first. But as of right now, like I said, this is my favorite horror movie of this year and one of my favorite horror movies of all time. And please let me know down in the comments what you think about this movie. Did you like this movie? Did you hate it? Are you indifferent? Just let me know down in the comments. Thank you all so much for watching, and please don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and share this with everybody that you know, any horror film fanatic or whatever. Just stay awesome, guys, and get spooked like I did.